seconds. Charles Barkley. Johnson around his man. Drives. Davis scores over Mark Jackson. Stoudemire scores. Rejected. What a defensive effort that time. Crowder looking for the alley. Kevin Durant. Break it out here. With the long one, won't get it. Long rebound. Finds Booker. This is going in.
Welcome in, Planeteers, for another exciting episode of Suns Planet. I'm your host, Jake. You know the usuals. We've got Kev, the thriller from Manila. Say hi, Kev.
What's going on, everybody? Great to be back. And we want to welcome our guest for today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
How about you, Hamo?
Yeah. How about Thunder from Down Under real quick?
Good morning. Very excited. We're a little bit late, but, all good things come to those who wait. So,
good morning.
Yes,
so
very
peppy.
excited.
You sound like an Aussie businessman. Good morning. We're here today to study the koala. No, and our big guest are for our very first ever trip to Africa on Suns Planet. We are in Kenya today with Siro, the super fan that many of the Suns fans on Suns Twitter saw recently received a Devin Booker jersey, Mikal Bridges jersey. Siro, say hi to the folks.
Hello, everyone. I'm Siro, the boy from Nairobi. A massive Phoenix Suns fan, and I'm excited to come on this Suns Planet podcast. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to connect with the Phoenix Suns community, and yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you, guys, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for agreeing to come on. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
Well, Siro, just so you know, so kind of the idea around Suns Planet that we originally had was that, for example, I'm not based in Arizona. I'm nowhere near Phoenix. And of course, Hamo is in Australia. Kevin's in the Philippines. But, the Suns have fans outside of the Phoenix, Arizona area. So we wanted to kind of connect them and kind of, in a way, I call it the Anthony Bourdain of Suns podcast, where we get out and we kind of get to know people, get to know their country, their locations, where they're at, what brought them in and made them a Suns fan. And of course, we'll get into that a little bit later in the show when we kind of do a deeper dive into learning a little bit about Kenya, which, as we discovered on last week's show, nobody here on the show knows much about Kenya. I think the top thing that we had going away from it was there's a lot of people in Kenya. It is a very populated country, and that was one of the few things that I remember that we knew about that. But let's jump into it with a little Q1 content. And that's the recent talk of, as we've kind of been touching on, the Team USA basketball. Of course, we came away with the gold at the Olympics in Paris. And the question came up on ESPN recently, which players are most likely to carry their success into the upcoming season? So let's go ahead and start with that one.
After you watch them in Paris, who do you feel best about heading into the season after seeing them show out there?
I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns because they had two guys, first of all. Very important. Kevin Durant was sensational. It's starting right off the bat when he came off the bench, makes his first 6 shots in the first half after being out for a while. But also Devin Booker, I think the way he is now viewed, Devin Booker's put up big numbers in Phoenix. They had a very disappointing year last year, regular season, and obviously getting swept in the postseason. They make a coaching change. Couldn't have gone much worse. Devin Booker plays a role on this team where he gets so much credit internally from the coaching staff, from his teammates about being the unsung MVP, to quote Steve Kerr. That's got to make Devin Booker feel really good in terms of how he's viewed as a winner. Kevin Durant was great. They come in. They're going to get more than 41 games together this year with Bradley Beal. I love some of the new pieces they've added. I think Phoenix has the most to grab in terms of a team, from a team standpoint, of those star players that played on the Olympic team.
Absolutely. Tim Legler, aka Legs, starting it up with the Booker Durant are going to be the ones bringing in the most success from the success from the Olympic time. Siro, why don't you kick us off? Do you agree with that take? Do they build momentum going in?
Yeah, actually, it's clear to see, the two superstars for the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. I mean, they were pivotal in that, in the Team USA win against, all the going through the Olympics. Actually, I was watching the games, sometimes, and then it was amazing actually seeing Devin Booker, especially, he's such a humble superstar. He was willing. He said, "I'll do it," and he went on and did it. He kept his word. He was willing to do the dirty work, whether it was defending, playmaking, wherever, being on the court rotation, just to help the team win. It's a huge sacrifice, and it really shows who he is, because it shows that he's a superstar who has no ego. He's down to earth, and he's prioritizing winning. And then Kevin Durant, I mean, where do I start? He's when it comes to USA basketball, he's the GOAT, and it's not even close. The guy, he was injured, but then he came on the first game against Serbia, coming off the bench, and he was fantastic. He reminded the
It was
world who
Kevin
he is.
Durant.
Yeah. So those guys, they really balled out. They showed it on the world stage that they are ballers. And I'm glad that they are part of the Phoenix Suns, and hopefully they're gonna carry that into the next season. But the most important thing is health. If they're healthy, then the Suns are gonna be unstoppable for real.
Yeah, of course.
Well, and
it's-
Hamill, what do you think about that? Some people think that these stars need to rest more in the summertime, and they shouldn't be out there playing in the Olympics. But these two guys went out and did it anyway.
This is an opportunity for anyone in any sport to compete at the highest level and represent their country against the best in the world. So I'm never going to jump on anyone for taking that opportunity. If they got injured and ruined our season, then yeah, we'd be upset. But no, it's quite clear Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are going to excel this season. I think there's also going to be a couple of names from that Paris roster, guys like Anthony Edwards, Halliburton. They're going to come back and make massive impacts on their teams as well. So definitely, it's only going to improve. They've had a chance to grow and bond and spend more time together than what they possibly wouldn't have done in the off season. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I reckon everyone is going to come back swinging for the fences on this coming season.
Well, no, I for one agree. I think obviously there's that concern of making sure they get enough rest and they're not getting burned out. But I mean, this isn't quite. I think when people are saying that, they kind of forget that they've been resting since Paris. Now they can continue to rest. Training camp preseason does not start till I think beginning of October, end of this month. So there's still a little bit of time. I mean, if you can't get ready by taking a complete month off, month plus 2 months off, then you got a little bit more than aches and pains going on. So I think it would be a little bit more severe if there was a more serious injury. For example, I'm a little bit worried for Jamal Murray. Obviously, the Nuggets aren't. They just gave him that big new fat contract, giving him the full max extension. But he struggled with Team Canada, and I did not think that he's going to be bringing any momentum into the season. In fact, I'd be a little bit nervous if I was him. Kevin keeps dropping off, so I'm going to ask Kevin, why does he think that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be the best ones to bring in all the momentum to this season? Is it true, Kevin, that it's because you're a Lakers fan?
Oh, come on, don't do that to me. I certainly didn't think or don't think that people are high as people are high on those two from Katie and the book. Don't put me on the spot.
well, because we want to make it obviously a little bit not controversial, but a little engaging, show some differences, because otherwise we're just going to sit here and play. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, awesome. Suns players, awesome. They're going to take all the momentum in. Let me ask you guys this. Who from Team USA outside of the Suns players is most likely to build on the success of the Olympic team?
I'm going to say Anthony Edwards.
Not to. I'll give you either
not.
Yeah.
Likely not to.
Who will bring it in? I'll give you guys a second here because I obviously thought of the topic off the top of my head, and it's going to be two ways. Two guys, and they both play the same position. Guys coming in that are going to struggle a little bit in terms of not bringing in momentum. Joel Embiid. Embiid, I thought, was a bit of a disappointment for Team USA to the point where I thought, can we send him to the French? He's from Cameroon, I think, as well. So Joel Embiid was not quite his dominant MVP-looking self. But Bam Adebayo, I thought, actually had a very strong role as the center. He'll be taking that momentum to South Beach, to Miami, to try and help the Heat, who are, I think, honestly, looking at an extremely narrow window. This would be their last chance, I think, to make any kind of noise in the playoffs before they really need to take a look at what they're going to do with Jimmy Butler, who's not getting any younger, Tyler Hero, who seems to have hit his ceiling, but we'll see with the Heat. But I would say Joel Embiid not taking momentum in, and Bam Adebayo is. What about you, Kev?
I mean, if we're gonna go that way, I would say, why am I? I'm hearing my voice in the background. Sorry.
No,
don't worry, it's fixed.
Yeah.
All right, but let me go back to the Lakers for 1 sec. I think. Anthony Davis,
of course, you're going back to the Lakers. Yeah.
But Anthony Davis really had a strong finish.
He didn't get hurt. It's a very strong finish.
He didn't get hurt. Yeah. So if he's like 82 games, man, compared to 10, 15, or how many games was there for in the Olympics? But Anthony Davis, if he could stay healthy, I remember like the bubble Anthony Davis, that he could definitely like bring on the dominance once more.
Well, I would go back to Siro, but I'm sure I want to go actually first right away to Hamo because he loves to dunk on Lakers takes. So Hamo, what do you got? Who's taking momentum in, and was Kev right that Anthony Davis will be?
You're 100% right with the one that won't be taking it in is Joel Embiid. It's very hard to root for this guy. He has a lot of talent, we know that, but he's just soft sometimes. And I think he's probably going to be the worst off coming out of that team. But a couple of sneaky, there's 3 Celtics on that roster. That was the reigning champions. So they're obviously in their best prime of their years kind of thing. So they could always go good as well. But Embiid's just shite. He's not going to do anything.
I love it. He's not going to do anything, and LeBron James is terrible. These are the great takes that we asked Camo to lead with. But Siro, what do you think? Ball respects ball, as they say. Who outside of the Suns, obviously, because we're all fans here of them, who else from Team USA do you think is going to be building on some success from the Team USA?
Okay, I know this might sound odd, but you guys are sleeping on Embiid. I know.
I noticed you were kind of like, well, I'm not buying.
Yeah, that guy, don't forget that he has been an MVP in the league, and then he maybe he just had a bad stretch of games, but when it comes to the regular season next season, they just added Paul George and then Tyrese Maxey, so Philly are good. They can contend in the East. You guys are sleeping on him, but he can turn it around. All players have bad slumps,
Oh, sure.
But, yeah, so I don't think he can be judged according to the Olympics performance, although he had some good moments. To be fair to him, he had some good moments.
I think for Embiid sorry, Siro, the case was that his style of play is not really necessarily FIBA compatible, right? Thank you, Siro. Hunting fouls, it's not going to work in FIBA.
Right, because the hand checking is allowed, getting that arm up on people. That's a good point.
A little more physicality in terms of defensive play.
Yeah, but Philly can contend in the East. I really believe.
Yeah, they're definitely top 5 in the East. There's no doubt about that. But it's just which version of Joel's going to show up.
Well, not just which version of him, but which version of his knees are going to show up, I think, is the other big thing. It's I feel bad for the guy. I mean, that's the challenge of being one of the best players on the planet. There's a reason why he won the MVP, but they have to play him heavy minutes. And how do you balance that? It's kind of like it's almost as bad as the Kawhi Leonard situation, where you know that he is a tremendous talent, but they just can't keep him healthy. And then when it's time to actually for sure win games, he's not available. Now, obviously, Embiid has kind of fought through it a little bit more, and I think the addition of Paul George is going to be great. In fact, I invite you all to go check out Suns Jam's latest episode, where Darth Voida actually interviewed Ronnie 2K, the leader of the NBA 2K game series, where Ronnie 2K actually said he predicts Philadelphia 76ers are winning it all this year. So we could be totally wrong. We'll come back here and be like, Embiid took zero momentum into the season and still won it all. So we'll take a little bit of a look. Siro, I see you got a friend in the chat, or at least somebody else from Kenya.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Abdul Salam Eid.
Yeah, that's my friend. He's the only person I can talk basketball with.
Okay, well, great.
Thanks for stopping by there, friend.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, next up on the agenda today is we're going to be talking a little bit about Suns maybe needing a point guard. Now, I thought we kind of put this issue to bed.
We did.
With Monty Morris. Then I really thought we took care of this situation with Tyus Jones. Apparently, Stephon Marbury, old Suns classic star, Starbury, who's very big in China, but Stephon Marbury came out recently and said, you know what the Suns need? More scoring. We don't. But they need a top flight point guard. He recommended Tyrese Halliburton. Let's check it out.
Did you see old buddy Starbury's trying to get you out to Phoenix? Did you see that? That's the newest one on the
Somebody mentioned that. What did he say?
He basically just said, like, hey, you know what Phoenix needs? They need another scorer. And who's that guy out in Indiana, that guard? He's a dog. They should go get him.
I'm not going anywhere, so then they would have to, if they wanted to play with me, they would then have to, come here. But the Marbury comment, it's weird.
What do you mean it's weird?
Why?
He's dialed in.
Why does Phoenix need me? They got Tyus Jones. They're a good squad over there.
Well, I mean, Olympic gold medalist point guard versus Tyus Jones.
Well, I mean, I understand, but I'm good in Indy. They're good in Phoenix. Everybody's good right now.
Okay.
Okay, first off, I love the Olympic gold medalist. There I got up here, and then Tyus Jones, and I was like, Tyrese even trolled himself on Twitter by just being like, didn't do any of the work, still got the gold. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton did not play that much with Team USA. Tremendous basketball player. What do we think about this? Do we think Tyrese Halliburton has any interest in coming to the Suns, or what would even be a good fit? Siro, we'll start with you.
I would say, being realistically, I don't think it's gonna happen. First thing first, I think that was wishful thinking from Stephon, but because you look, Tyrese is a max player, and we have 3 max players now in the Suns: KD, Bill, and Book. So, and then the tax, how it works. I'm still learning about the game, so I don't know much about the money side of things, but I know currently I don't think we are in position to afford him, to accommodate him, and then we are good with Tyus Jones. He's on a team-friendly deal, and then we don't need a scoring point guard because we have scorers, right?
100%. So, and just a quick reminder for Suns fans, because the new second apron that we hear so much about and the new financials, it is a little bit confusing. I've got the new NBA 2K. I haven't even seen if I'm able to pull off illegal trades like I was last year. But essentially, we cannot aggregate player salaries. So you're right, Siro. We'd have to send out another max contract, so Booker, Durant, or Beal, to acquire a Tyrese Halliburton. We could not send out a Grayson Allen with a Jusuf Nurkic and, more minimum contracts or anything. We can't combine those to send out. Also, because we're over the second apron, we always need to take in less than we're sending out. So it's a little bit of a challenge, and it's there to limit what these kind of super teams can do. Hamo, what do you think about the story?
I think his comments, in themselves. Halliburton's comments are the main key about where he talks. If people want to play with him, they're coming to him. I just find that a very, very intriguing statement. He's extremely comfortable in his position and is loving Indy right now, or he's brilliant business marketing, man, because that really sort of, that's his team. He's not going anywhere. If you want him, you come to him. I find those comments very interesting. In terms
we had a
of
player
is he
like
better,
Booker that said,
yeah,
I was going to say, yeah.
and yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, isn't it? If that is what happens in Indiana, and we see superstars going to go play with Halliburton, that's interesting, man. Because I wouldn't be heading out to Indiana. Is he better than our current centers? More than likely, definitely. His scoring is almost impeccable at times, but I don't think it's not going to happen. There's no way. No way.
Kev, what do you think? Do you want to live in Indianapolis?
Oh, no.
You guys never even been there. You have no idea.
Is
a nice city. It is. I've been there.
Is it like cold out there, or
of course,
like Milwaukee,
it's the Midwest, yeah.
Okay.
It's all farm and country.
And shout out to Tyrese. He was wearing an Ames sweatshirt because he went to Iowa State. Go Cyclones, class of 09. This guy.
Nice.
Great. Well, I think the Suns had like. Was there a chance that the Suns draft him? There was, right?
Oh gosh, are you going to dig up that?
Yeah. Are we going to get back to that?
Yeah,
that the Suns should have drafted him when they had the chance. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Acknowledge. Sorry, Kev. I just want to acknowledge in the private chat here. Our producer Josh has just said, "I've never been to the moon, but I know it wouldn't be fun to live there." That's pretty good.
That's
Thanks, Josh.
a pretty good. Thank you for backing us up, Josh. But my take of it is that I'm kind of like with Hamo. I certainly don't think it's going to happen. Not now, because Tyrese Halliburton, and relative to the stage of his career right now, I don't think he's there yet to make those types of comments. But for sure, man, I'd welcome him with open arms if there's like a chance for him to play here. Actually, like after the Durants and the Beals, all that stuff has gone away. Maybe down the line or down the road, we could have him, and just imagine that kind of backcourt, like up and down.
Yeah.
With Book and Halliburton.
If Beal starts to get washed, we just send him to Indiana and say, "Hey, you've never been to the moon, but you know you wouldn't want to live there."
Yeah. Hope you like corn.
Yeah, jerks. Well, I'll say this about the Midwest because it's amazing. But Tyrese Halliburton from Wisconsin originally, played his college ball in central Iowa in the great town of Ames, 30 minutes north of me. And now he's out in Indiana. So he's probably very comfortable in the Midwest. And that's a very Midwestern attitude of, hey, you guys are good. You guys have a great team, and I have a great team. And if you'd like to play with me, you're more than welcome to come join me. That's just a very humble Midwestern approach. But yeah, as GOD3 tells us in the chat, one of our super planeteers, Sticks. Should never have gone with Sticks. Should have gotten Halliburton. But of course, then who knows what this team would have looked like at this point.
Exactly right.
It would have shifted a whole, you go back in there where they call it the butterfly effect. You change one thing from the past, and there's going to be ripples throughout everything. Well, Siro, I'm excited because we've got another quick story and then a debate, and then we'll jump into Kenya. But we want to take you to a special place here on Suns Planet. We're going to invite you into one of our favorite clubs. I hope you're ready to have a good time. Josh, let us in the door.
What's the name of that nightclub of yours again?
You talking about the Boom Boom Room?
Yeah, the Boom Boom Room. That's it. Funky. Yeah. Funky. Yeah. Funky. Yeah. Funky. Yeah.
And for all those in the United States right now, if you're ever curious where that first clip came from the movie Life, which starring Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, currently on Netflix. I know that because I just rewatched it. It's a great movie. So
it's a good movie.
Check out Life if you get the chance. But Siro, welcome to the Boom Room. Typically, this is just a quicker segment, a little bit laid back, something to kind of toast the team. And right now, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Devin Booker. Where's he popping up next, dropping off his shoes? It's not in Des Moines, Iowa. Come on, Book. You can stop in here for a day. But instead, it's out to New York. And I think we got a clip on this, too, don't we? Oh, that's right. So here we are walking through New York where Booker is dropping off his shoes, seeing who wants to be a fan of his, basically, kind of like he was in Paris.
If I'm correct, too, this is the area where our good friend Flex from Jersey grew up as well. They're some of his local courts. So it's really cool to see Book back out there. He walks up to this one kid, says he's been watching him for a little bit, liking his game. Just sitting back in the car, watching him play on the court. Hooks him up with a pair of books. Takes a whole heap of photos, man. This guy is just an absolute ambassador of humanity. He's just out there giving stuff away for free, man. For free. It's just crazy. It's almost unheard of. Almost unheard of in the world nowadays. It's awesome to see, isn't it?
Well, Hamo, you're the only guy I've ever heard that can make Booker seem creepy. He was watching this kid for a while from his car, really enjoying his game. Showed up and gave him shoes.
Yep, I do it very well.
Any other adult that's not an NBA player that has a lot of people videotaping him comes up and does it to you on a basketball court, kids do not engage. Do not talk with that individual. Kev, do you have some Book ones yet? And when's he coming to Manila?
Actually, I have the Book ones Python. No, I'm kidding.
No, I was gonna say no kidding. Okay,
I was like, what?
I hardly can get the normal colorways over here, but as we can see in the video, again, we've talked about this in the previous episodes that the humility. Of course, part of it is like marketing strategy outside of Arizona, right? Just to get out some shoes out there. You kind of see the humility that this person has, and like Hamo said, it's completely unheard of, especially for his stature. He's an NBA superstar, walking around in the streets and just giving out his shoes. I like what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like I shouted out how respectful the Parisian fans were over there, and to credit as well, the cats on the street of New York there, they weren't mobbing him, they weren't harassing him. They were being respectful, and that's really cool to see.
And that's why he hasn't shown up in Sydney yet.
Nah. Yeah, nah. Don't, Book. Don't.
Or in Manila.
Yeah.
But how's the shoes looking over there in Kenya? Have you seen any pairs of Book ones getting around, Siro?
Hell no. Not even like.
I could have said hell no too.
Yeah. Like you won't even find an old school NBA jersey over here, man. That's how tough it is, man.
Yeah.
So whenever I walk around with my Phoenix Suns authentic Devin Booker jersey, man, I'm the freshest kid in town, man.
Yeah. There we go.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, they just look at me and they're like,
awesome.
those are the clothes. Those are the clothes from America, man. I just look cool, man. I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
That's beautiful.
Well, that's I want to touch on I think it was a really good point made that it is kind of a fun little marketing strategy because Booker, I mean, of course, as we have as fans, and we've had this debate on this show before, are we frustrated when the NBA media or sports media in general or the international fans don't pay as much respect to Devin Booker as we do? And it's always kind of funny because I usually lean on that. I don't care if they know who Booker is or not. If they don't, good, then he'll come out and destroy their team and they'll be like, who is that guy? And then they'll be frustrated. But I think that's a really good point, though, that Booker's kind of doing these videos in places he might not always be in. And it's creating a splash, a lot of goodwill, giving out these shoes. And he's just being very chill about it. I am curious if there's any videos going around that maybe they did it and the guy's like, I don't know who you are. And they're like, we're not hearing this one. But it's always like, already
No,
kind of set up that somebody's going to know who he is at these courts.
Well, he's a
Yeah,
keynote. I think. I bet.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
I always think like people like other rival fans, they were hating Book for no reason, and it's been amazing ever since he balled out for Team USA, and now they're starting to respect him. Now he's getting the respect that he deserves. Way before, people never used to respect him, and they had no reason. They just be hating for him for no reason, man. If you ask the guy, why do you hate this guy, man? He has no reason, but he just hates him. You see, but
It's like me and LeBron. Yeah, I get you.
man. But now with his generosity, it's a testament to his character. That's who he is.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I was actually watching a Devin Booker highlights like earlier today, and there was this one comment on YouTube that says, I like how he plays, but I just don't like his personality. I said, what?
Yeah, he's got the most beige personality you've ever come across. Is it because he
He's the most
doesn't have
chill
a personality? Like, is it because he's not larger than life that they dislike him?
I don't know, man.
You can't
Maybe
get
it's
a
just-
rise out of him. That upsets people a lot when you can't get someone angry.
I think it's mostly about the narrative stuff that we have heard in mainstream, social media, like the fake tough guy, all that type of talk. So,
And look, there's got to be an aspect of jealousy in here too, because who wouldn't want that lifestyle? Who wouldn't want to be 6'6", tanned, good looking, young, money? Like.
Not
Obviously,
me. I'm not interested in that.
It's easy. It's easy to
He drinks too much wine. I'm more of a whiskey guy.
It's easy to dislike someone that's like ugly. It's easy to dislike Grayson Allen, but Devin Booker, nah, man, he's too pretty.
Grayson Allen's ugly.
Grayson Allen.
You were going down the right path, and then you just started like, it's easy to dislike ugly people. Okay, like Grayson Allen's easy to dislike. What?
Yeah. Remember. We were going to make the drop about him looking like the bloke from Billy Madison, that little Weasley dude.
Well, he doesn't look like him though. It just
he does.
He's an antagonist on the defensive side of the ball.
It looks like him.
Okay. Well, let's get into.
That's my hot take for the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move it along and get into some of the meatier parts of this episode. The first one being the Jusuf Nurkic debate. There's been a little bit of talk on Twitter about whether or not Jusuf Nurkic can be a starting center on a Suns championship roster as it's kind of currently constructed. We know from our time spent in Belgium that D-Rock trainer, one of our favorite guests on here, said, Nurkic he's not the guy. He's not the guy we need down low. I disagreed with them and at the time, and unfortunately, Planeteers, all of our hosts, including Siro, said, "Oh, Nurkic is phenomenal." So I will be playing the part today of Nurkic is not phenomenal. So can Jusuf Nurkic be the center on this championship level team? Let's get that debate started. And Kev's our stat guy. Kev, why don't you kick us off and tell us why Nurk is doing, he can do all that we need him to do.
Okay, so I wasn't ready for this one. Actually, I was like, no. I was thinking about it up to the start of the episode, and I was looking some stats. Actually, Mr. Voida, or Planeteers, you can check out Mr. Voida's article about X Factor.
His comments are already lighting it up.
Actually, Jake, I'm leaning towards no, but with reservations. Okay, so
wait, that no. Oh, that's right. You're the he's kind of not great.
Yeah, so no with reservations because with reservations because who's out there that's really available, right? And
yeah, that's it.
That's actually it. Plus,
DeAndre.
No, come on. Let's
Robert
not
Williams.
go there.
Yeah.
Robert Williams is like always injured, right? I don't count him in.
Yeah. Well, so was
anyway.
Nurkic up until last year. And what's Robert Williams' nickname? Like the Time Mage or the Time Warper?
Time Lord.
Time Lord. That's what it is. One of the coolest nicknames I've ever heard of, Time Lord.
So my point is that when you look at the West in particular, the centers or the big men that's out in the West, you have um, who's the one that recently acquired by OKC, Hartenstein.
Oh yeah, Isaiah
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein.
Oh yeah,
You have
From
Chet.
Germany, right?
Yeah, and of course you have Jokic. You have I'm gonna include Rudy Gobert in this conversation. Um, and AD is in there in the West. So there's like a
Chet
lot of top
Holmgren.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mentioned Chet earlier. There's like
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of great centers out there, but I think the Suns can still afford to have Nurkic out there, just because we have no choice, right? They have no choice. We only got Nurkic, and like I said, there's no one available other than him out there. Um, he had some. He really was good in terms of regular season. Like the Suns were like 1-4,
Okay,
without
Kev,
him.
I'm going to speed you up here. You said no with reservations. You're doing a lot more of the reservations than the no part.
No, because the no part is just that no one's like really available out there.
Wait, no.
That
Then
can
so you're
replace him.
totally saying that Nurkic can be the center on the Suns for a championship team.
Well, in stretches, not all the time. Well, I mean, okay.
This is like when you're in trouble with your woman and you're like, I didn't do what you thought I did exactly how you think I did
No,
it.
let me put it this way. Okay, let me get out of this in technicality.
Yeah.
You can start him, but you can finish games without him and him on a bench, right? Depending on the
Okay.
matchups, really. But he's as good as we're gonna get him. I know he has like one of the worst playoff records in NBA history, so that's not good. And certainly we saw that, like
Who sent
last.
an invite to Voida?
Who sent that John out here?
I want to know who was going in the
I
bathroom.
want to know
And
the case for Nurk not being a great center for this team. I just want to hear it.
First of
you
all,
go
I
to
doubt
me,
anyone
not me.
invited him. I reckon he hacked us. He hacked his way in here. Siro, if you don't know who this is John Voida, the host of Sun's Jam Session and also managing editor over at Bright Side of the Sun. He is one of the podcast Illuminati and one of the figureheads, if not the figurehead, in the Phoenix Suns community. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Voida.
No, of course. This is a great debate, and I want to hear everyone's point of view on it before I am allowed potentially to provide mine.
Absolutely.
Go ahead,
I'm
Jake.
gonna cut Kevin off now because Kevin said no, he cannot be the center on a championship team, and then he went on to say how there's nobody else available. This guy can get it done. So I'm going to say that Kevin failed the ability to take a side. And let's go to our special guest Siro first for why you believe that Nurk can. Then I will go and try and launch a no, he can't, and then we'll bring Hamo and Voida in. But you kick us off, Siro, with why Nurkic can be our starting center.
Okay, I know a lot of guys are still sitting on the fence on whether Nurk can help the Phoenix Suns win a championship. But for me, I'm calling it right now. I truly believe in Jusuf Nurkic. Last season, he had some good moments. Of course, he collapsed during the playoffs, but the guy has been spending the whole summer in the gym, working on his weaknesses, perfecting his craft. And he also looks like he has shed a lot of weight. So it shows that he cares. It shows that maybe he recognizes that those playoffs performance, it was really wanting. And now there's room for improvement. And I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he can really help us because he's already an elite rebounder. He can grab them rebounds, The guy can easily give you back-to-back 20 rebounds, So Jusuf Nurkic with a developed three-point shot, and if he could improve his finishing on the rim, I truly believe he can help the Suns, he can be vital for our championship next season.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. No, Jusuf Nurkic cannot be the starting center for the Suns if they're competing for a championship. And
Kick him
let
out,
me
Josh.
explain
Kick
why.
him out.
Yeah, as Kevin, wait, I'm the host. Wait, no. Who let this guy in? That's as Kevin already pointed out. This guy has the worst winning percentage in NBA playoffs. I think history. Thanks to a shout out to my brother from another mother, the former co-host with me over on the Suns solar panel with our daddy Dave King. But Brandon, excuse me. Yeah, it was Brandon, right, that wrote the article on Suns Planet? Brandon Duenas. Am I saying that right, Voida?
Duenas. Brandon Duenas. Zona Sports.
Zona Sports, that's right. My brother from another mother. Everyone started saying that because apparently he and I both all had the same beard like Dave King did, just not as gray when we were with our son's daddy on that. But so Jusuf Nurkic, let's talk about it. So first off, again, Suns Planeteers. I do actually like Nurkic, but for sake of argument, and this is why I wish I had so says Jay on here because he just loves to argue about everything. But you know, he's ineffective. He's 30 years old. He's not going to be getting any better. He's working on his craft. He shot 25% from three. He does not stretch the offense in any way. And instead, he clogs up the lane when Beal or Booker tries to drive. Durant is more of a mid-range shooter. And then you have Nurk crowding a little bit of that lane, which limits a little bit of the shots that Durant can take, and it's going to cause another defender to be able to leak out onto him. And we saw in the playoffs against Rudy Gobert, who does not stretch offenses for the Timberwolves, and Nurkic was kind of an embarrassment. Not horrible, but it certainly wasn't as much as we had hoped. 7.8 points, 8.3 rebounds from our leading rebounder. That's not going to get it done in the playoffs, Suns fans. And we've seen an inability to finish. As much as we were frustrated with DeAndre Ayton just go up and jam it, we all knew he could. We also know that Nurkic really can't. And that's why when Drew Eubanks would go in and all of a sudden slam the ball into the basket, we're like, a center that knows how to actually dunk. Nurkic could do it only early in the season when his legs were super fresh and he was right under the basket. Is he a good post interior defender? Yes, but he can get destroyed by anyone that can stretch this team out. That's going to hurt us when we play the Oklahoma City Thunder and some of these other teams that can stretch us out. Anthony Davis statistically has his way with use of Nurkic. And so it's just not I understand what you said, Kev. Well, who else are we going to get? That's not the argument. The argument is, can this guy be the starting center on a championship team? He shouldn't be, and we should take a look at an upgrade. Jusuf Nurkic, please don't block me. I'm actually a big fan of yours. But let's go to somebody he did block. John Boyda.
Yes, Jusuf Nurkic did block me for some reason.
You got blocked by Nurk too. Far out.
Yeah, I got 2 of the 5.
Which is rare because Nurk doesn't block a lot of people. Yes!
All right, so let me pick apart what you just said there, Jinky boy. First and foremost, the fact that he has that record in the playoff, it's a team game. It's not directly because of him. And he's not the primary guy. Now, if Devin Booker or Kevin Durant had some sort of playoff record where they were 3-14 and they're the primary offensive force on that team, then there's an issue. But he is not even a tertiary guy on the teams in which he played. Okay, he played with the Portland Trailblazers, which had Dame and CJ McCollum. Now he's here with the Suns, and it was an 0-4 slate last year, and it was unfortunate. And it's hard to grab a lot of rebounds when the opposing team, one, has one of the best rebounders in the league, but two, aren't missing shots. You know, it's like the ball goes in, there's no rebound. It's an inbound after that. So I don't fault him for that. And when you look at the construction of this roster, he is a mid-level center. He's the 15th or 16th highest paid center, which is exactly what the Suns can afford and what they need around the amazing talent that they have around him. He's not going to hit 5 or 6 checkmark boxes relative to his overall skill set. He's an amazing rebounder. He's a above average playmaker coming from the center position, which is going to play well in Mike Budenholzer's offense because he did the same thing with Brook Lopez. He had him play some, off ball or some dribble handoffs from the top of the key, stretch the floor a little bit. Hopefully he's been working on his 3-point game and can stretch the floor like you said he couldn't. But given the construct of this team, with his skill set, being the guy who can rebound, the guy who can play make, the guy who can play some defense on in the paint. Not a great perimeter defender by any means, but given the constructs of this roster, he can absolutely be the starting center on a championship team because he's not being asked to do all the heavy lifting. That's the scoring. That's all going to be Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Tyus Jones and Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. The list goes on of people who are going to contribute from the offensive standpoint. He just needs to go down there, clog the paint on the defensive end, and do some shot deterrence, do some rebounding, and do some playmaking that's going to help open up those guys. So he can absolutely be the starting center on this team. I don't understand why so many people are anti-Nurk. The argument that he had a bad series, the whole fucking team had a bad series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So we can't sit there and go, well, it was all Nurk. Nurk was the fifth highest scoring player on that team in the playoffs, which is exactly where he should be, the fifth highest scorer of our starting five. I'm okay with that. I rest my case.
Well, to answer the question, can we win a championship with Nurk as our starting center? Short and sweet, yes, because at this stage, we don't have a choice. If we aren't going to win with him, then we ain't winning. And just because I haven't heard it in a while, please, Josh, hit it.
Here goes a flush, savage slam dunk, rebound with the sound of this welcome funk. Bossy and bees.
Jake,
for those who are
before you
listening,
I love that.
Jake, before you go on, I just want to say I'm just going to stick into writing and not just going to join these debates anymore. Thank you.
Just because
Lakers
you
looking
waited
for
in
riders,
with
are they?
no, he can't be. But let me tell you why we have no other options, and he's actually really good. Please don't. I'm going to jump in and answer that for Voida too. Please do not submit him an article that starts out that way. Can he? No. But let me tell you why he can.
Please do. It's
well, thank you very much, Mr. Boyd. Are you going to be sticking around here to learn?
Nope, I got to go get a breakfast burrito. But
all right. Thank you for stopping in.
But I do want to hear more of Ciro's story, so I will be listening in.
That's
But thanks for having me on, guys, real quick. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
Thanks, John.
And let me see here, actually.
Guy.
So, as we get ready to transition into talking about getting to know Siro a little bit, let me see what we can do with that. 1 second here, and I will share. Let's see, as soon as I can get it to pull up. No, that's the wrong one. See, this is why Josh right now is probably sitting there being like, "What is he doing? I've got everything." But then I sneak this in, and we'll do this. If I can load it. There we go. Is there any volume to this?
Hit mute.
Oh. Sorry, and we're only going to do a minute of that because there's a whole other minute to go, and I don't want to cut into more time. But Siro, first off, you guys have a nice national anthem that's got a little jam to it. Got a little classic sound to it. But Siro, introduce us. Talk to us a little bit about yourself. We want to know, how about, let's start first with, why are you a Suns fan?
First thing first, thank you so much for playing the national anthem. It really means a lot, man. I feel patriotic right now.
If that was my anthem, I would too, man. That is a cool sounding anthem.
Yeah, people say it's the best in the world. I don't know if it's true, but
probably Kenyans that say that though, right?
Yeah. So My name is Siro. I'm 21 years old from Nairobi, Kenya. Obviously, by now you know it's in East Africa, and Kenya is known for producing the best long distance runners. 10,000 meters. Those people, the Kipchoges, the Chicago Marathon, Boston Marathon, Berlin. It's something to do with genetics and the environment. I don't know, but it's a blessing from God, I believe. So I have been a Suns fan. My journey with the Phoenix Suns started, I can say, back in 2011. It's when my mom bought me a black T-shirt, and this T-shirt, it was written Phoenix, and it had the NBA logo. So it was a black T-shirt. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know how to read the name. I used to say Phoenix, but I used to love the cloth, man. I remember it was an oversize. It's like it used to reach my knees. I used to wear it almost every day. And so I fell in love with the cloth growing up, 2014, 15, mid 2010s. There's this guy who had a cyber cafe where like you could print stuff, take photocopy, you could access the internet. So this guy, he could let me sweep. We made a deal with him. When I wasn't going to school, he could let me sweep, clean the place in the morning, and then I could sit at the computer when there are no customers, and use the computer. So I remember the first thing I Googled Phoenix NBA, and then it brought me, Phoenix Suns professional basketball team in national basketball, blah blah blah, the stuff you find on Google, and my interest actually grew. That's when I first realized the Phoenix, it's an NBA team. So every time that guy, every time he used to let me in, I always went on YouTube and I started watching videos, and I could watch those old videos from the Phoenix Suns. At first, I had never been in contact with the sport, so I was just watching it, and I didn't understand it. I was just seeing grown men running with the ball around. But then I started watching more and more documentaries about basketball. Obviously I was in school, but whenever I could get a chance, I could go in a cyber and just access the internet. All I could watch was basketball videos on YouTube. And my friends used to think I'm crazy because people here, everybody is crazy about soccer, They're all Manchester United, Liverpool, blah, 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 that stuff. But for me, that t-shirt triggered something. Whenever I could get a chance to sit in front of a computer, all I used to watch was basketball videos, and that's how I was able to learn through the sport. Fast forward to around 2020, 2021 there, that's when I finally got my first phone after finishing high school, and then I became an active fan, I can say. That's when I became an active fan because there aren't many people here who you can talk to basketball with, or maybe you can discuss anything relating to basketball. So first it was on Facebook, and then I was engaging with people, trying, just learning about the game on the internet, and then I finally joined Twitter, and that's when I was able to connect with the amazing Phoenix Suns community, the people who really know about basketball. They talk it, they live it, it's their life. I was in paradise because in my real life, you can't talk basketball with everybody, just like Book said, especially this part of the world. So it was my safe haven. And then, when I get on Twitter, I just forget about my real life problems. So it's my safe place. I was able to engage with the fans.
Twitter's a safe place.
I was guessing that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah.
Elon Musk would love to hear that.
Yeah.
If you don't provoke people, you just stay safe, If you're not after violence, it's a safe place.
That's true, man. That's true.
Yeah. You avoid most
talk to us
arguments.
a little bit, Siro. I know a lot of people are interested, of course, to hear how you got the Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges jersey sent to you. Could you tell us kind of what all happened to make that possible?
Because you were waiting quite a long time, weren't you, Siro?
Yeah, it's a dream come true. I'm telling you, like, I've been living a dream the last 2 weeks. It's been amazing. So when I finally got on Twitter and started following the Phoenix Suns, when you follow one person, it's going to recommend to you a person with similar interest, and that's how I was able to grow and get into the Phoenix Suns community. And so I used to wake up every day at 5 a.m. That's when it's 7 p.m. in Arizona. That's 5 a.m. in our time. So that's when I get to watch the games, and it's been a really sacrifice, just my love for the Phoenix Suns, waking up, watching the games, and finally getting the jerseys. It really means a lot. So my story how I got the jersey, as I was following this Phoenix Suns community, I came around the Suns uni tracker. At first I thought he was affiliated with the Phoenix Suns. I'm not gonna lie. And
A
then
lot of people do.
yeah, and then I said, what if I reach out to this person and say, so I reached out to him. I say, hey man, my name is Siro. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm the only Suns fan. I would love if you guys have any old T-shirts. I would really appreciate. And amazingly enough, the guy never asked me any other question. He never doubted me. Like he responded and said, "Hey, this is cool, man. You mind if I can share your story with the amazing community so people can chip in?" And I said, "Man, I don't mind. I really appreciate." And so the guy reached out. It was around November last year, and the support, man, was overwhelming. Everybody was coming out. People were coming out saying, "Hey, I got this. I got this. I can add into the package." It was really nice to see that. So we put a package together. They put a package together and informed me he was about to send it out. I waited around December there, still, and then we encountered some challenges with the shipping. I'm not gonna get into the details, but we encountered some challenges with the shipping, and so at some point I thought nothing is gonna happen. Like they've now collected this stuff, and then it's become like we've hit a barrier. It's a dead end. There's no way they're gonna ship it to me. But I never lost hope. I just kept believing that if it's meant for me, it's gonna reach me, no matter how far away I am. So around Christmas there, he tried to send it, but still there were some technical issues and some financial issues. It was difficult because the shipping companies with a lot of money. I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but fast forward to around, was it April? Yeah, something like that. This year, I discovered this app. It's a website. It's actually a company uh, started by Kenyans in America. So traders use it, and even normal people. So you can use it to ship some stuff. And the guy, I researched it, and then I reached back to Sans Unitrack. I said, "Hey man, since we've encountered some difficulties, I've discovered this new company, and they're relatively cheap compared to UPS and FedEx, and they don't require a lot, because if I could have used the UPS and FedEx, I would have paid a lot of taxes when the jerseys arrived here, me. So we'd found this other company, and I didn't require to face the customs officers. So the package just arrived. The moment you've paid for it, you just go and pick it. So I wouldn't have to interact with those guys and pay all those taxes. So that was the advantage. And I believe it's all God's plan. So finally, he was able to send me the two Phoenix Suns jersey, and I kept waiting, man. I kept waiting. It took like 3 weeks. The company was sending me notifications saying your package has left the US. I was over the moon. I couldn't sleep that night, man. It was amazing. I was just daydreaming all day long, all night, just daydreaming about those jerseys, how I'm gonna wear them, how they're gonna feel, how they're gonna smell. The clothes from America, man, my dream. And then finally, I got the notification that my package had arrived in Kenya and was ready to be picked. I went there, man, and the first time I saw that package, man, tears in my eyes. A whole year of waiting. It was like a miracle, man. It was like a dream come true, man. Someone had truly believed in me. I just had an idea, and this amazing person just believed in me. He believed in my story, and he was willing to help me out without asking any more questions, without doubting if I'm a scammer, man. it really means a lot to me, and I'm forever grateful to Suns Uni Tracker. It's because of him that Devin Booker has posted me on his story. It's because of him that I'm able to wear a Phoenix Suns jersey over 9,000 miles away from Phoenix. It feels amazing.
That's incredible, man.
I can't
That
wait
is
to
incredible.
tell it's amazing.
And this is why I reached out to you, Siro, because your story fits what we believe, what we follow here at Suns Planet. And this story is a true testament to the Phoenix Suns community. And I've reached out. I've had a quick chat with Suns Uni Tracker as well. And I can't thank you enough either for what you've done to make this young man's dream come true halfway around the world. It's a true testament to not only yourself as a Suns fan, but also yourself as a human being. Because the smile on this young man's face, as we've seen in the photos on social media, as we can see sitting in front of us here today, this is what it's all about, guys. This is what it's all about. So, congratulations, Phoenix Sun community. You've done something really, really special here.
Absolutely. It's a great story, Siro. I'm so glad that you got those jerseys. And even though we don't have Mikal anymore, as I always say, Mikal Bridges is always a welcomed individual back to the Valley anytime. So as soon as you leave New York, Knicks, Mikal, be sure to come back to the Phoenix Suns. We love you. We miss you. You're always a great one. But you got the Devin Booker.
Chuck up JC.
What's that? Oh, yeah. I had that up, yeah. Siro, you're invited to Chile. So Juan Carlos Araneda is a Suns super fan in the country of Chile. He says you're welcome to come visit him in Chile. And then after that, as Hamo always does, he invites all of our guests to come share a bed at his place in Australia. Well, not share a bed, share a room. You get a room in Australia. But you might have to make room because I think Pat Burke, former Suns center in Ireland, also has a room there. JC Izzy from France. And actually, this is kind of what's neat, Siro. So next time you're watching a game at 5 a.m., your time in Nairobi, just keep in mind that there's a guy sitting in Paris at 4 a.m. named Izzy, who's been on the show a few times. He's waking up. He's got some kids he's probably checking in on, and then he's watching a game as well. Juan Carlos in Chile's watching. Kevin's watching in the Philippines. Hamo in Australia. Myself in the Midwest. So we are all over.
You're never alone. You're never alone, brother.
Even when you're watching those clips, just think there's another Suns super fan somewhere in another country, and now they all know who you are, and that's what's so great about this. And we're so excited to be talking with you today.
The Phoenix Suns is truly global, and it's amazing. The support has been incredible, really heartwarming. One thing I can tell you, there are very few NBA fans in Kenya, and they know very little about the league. So soccer is more popular here, and we are a running country. So most people have never heard of the Phoenix Suns. I'm telling you, I'm serious. They only know maybe the Lakers and the Celtics, the Bulls. They can't go anymore. But I'm happy to represent my Phoenix Suns. It's a match made up in heaven. And now I have my Phoenix Suns jersey, and two of them. It really, I'm over the moon, man. Your support really means a lot. To everybody who contributed, man, your support really means a lot. You've changed my life. And Suns Uni Tracker, I wish you nothing but massive success, man. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in my potential, man. You've really changed my life. And my dream is to see an established fan base in this country. I've already started with my friends. They know Devin Booker, they know the Phoenix Suns. It starts with one person and then it leads to the other. So hopefully in the next few years, we might see an established Phoenix Suns fan base, or even just a basketball fan base, because even the NBA, they just opened their offices last year, November, in Kenya. Yeah. So there's potential for the game to grow. And I would like to use the game to spread more love and change communities. It can go beyond the courts. it can
I
go
know a
beyond
big
the
story
top.
out of the Olympics, for example, was South Sudan. South Sudan, of course, borders Kenya. And one of the amazing stories from that many of us learned about the first time during the Olympics in Paris was that South Sudan does not have an indoor basketball court anywhere in their entire country. Yet they qualified for the Olympic Games, and although they weren't successful in getting a medal, they were very successful in representing their country and building an amazing story. And yeah, hopefully that spreads into Kenya. I noticed there's not any active NBA players from Kenya. So you're right. It seems like there's not. It's definitely not the national sport. We'll say that. But we are very interested to learn a little bit about the culture, the cuisine, kind of the day in the life of you. And so let's start with some food. If you were going to sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to have a traditional meal today. I'm going to have some good home cooking. And you've got Kevin here, you've got Hamo and myself. What are you going to serve us to say, hey guys, we're eating Kenyan food tonight?
Okay, I'm already dreaming when you guys come to Kenya one day. I believe it's possible. You're gonna come, and I'll be here to welcome you. So Kenya is a beautiful country. Actually, we have 47 different tribes. They all speak 47 different languages, but we are united by two languages, Swahili and English. So those are the two national languages. So all these different tribes, they all have their different food, but the staple one in all of them, I can tell you the food that's being prepared in every Kenyan household almost on a daily basis, it's something called ugali. And ugali is made from cornmeal. I don't know, maybe corn flour. You can use some cassavas, you can use some yams, it's grinded into powder, and then you boil some water. You can prepare a nice ugali with some traditional vegetables and a stew of meat. That's fantastic. You guys are gonna love it. I can't wait. And
Now,
then
is this a good representation of what we're looking at?
yes, that is ugali. That's a perfectly cooked ugali with some traditional vegetables. You see, you can serve it with a stew or anything. It's amazing. It's delicious. You should.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's our staple food over here.
Okay. Now you said some vegetables, some rice, and I see here Kenyan goat. Now I've had goat only a few times. But are you a goat eater?
Yeah, goat. It's called nyama choma.
Nyama
Goat
choma.
meat, yeah, it's roasted, and then you can have it with like salad, like tomatoes. You chop some tomatoes with some onions. It's nyama choma. Nyama choma is really delicious. It can be cut from goat or beef meat, but it's amazing. You can eat it with ugali. So if you guys come, I'm going to prepare for you something like that. Hopefully.
All right.
Looks good.
Right. Absolutely. And Kev, what do you think? Are you a goat eater at all?
They do sell some goat meat over here, but I haven't actually tried. I want to try it though. They said it's like beef.
Right. Yeah, it's like beef. No
I've had a
muscle.
lot of lamb. I'm told it's kind of similar. Obviously a little bit more similar to that, but a little what they would say is gamier over here. But I've liked it. Hamo, have you had goat meat before?
I don't think I have, but I do know that there's a lot of really good properties to goat meat. It's very high in a natural thing called selenium, which is actually good for helping prevent cancer. Random fact, I know, but I do know that for some reason. But
Well, did you know that actually mutton used to sell more than beef products in the United States prior to World War II? It was the more popular protein choice. I heard that on a history podcast once.
See, we're learning. We're all learning.
It's not just Suns basketball here; it's also an educational adventure.
Yeah.
Well, Siro, so do you drink alcohol at all?
No, unfortunately, I'm Muslim.
Oh, hey, that's okay. Yeah. Well, so we're gonna need something to wash this down, all this ugali down. So what were we gonna have as a beverage?
Okay, Kenya is one of the largest producers, actually second to China. Have you ever drink tea the Kenyan tea?
I don't think so.
It's one of the premium, so I'm gonna prepare you guys some Kenyan tea, and you can wash it down. But also, you guys, you should. I don't know if you know this. It's a random fact, but did you guys know that Nairobi, the capital city, is the only capital city in the entire world with a national park? Actually, you can access the Nairobi National Park within the city limits, and you can see all the animals that you've seen on Lion King. It's like you just indulge yourself into nature, and you know you get
That's
away
cool.
from. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Wow, look at that.
yeah, you can see the animals with the backdrop of the city.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
Far out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everywhere I've ever gone in terms of different travels and stuff like that, to kind of go out and see the local nature. I mean, it'll be a 30, 45-minute drive outside, or even longer sometimes to kind of get out there. And that's amazing that you guys have it so close to the city limits. I mean, what an amazing
Yeah.
opportunity to kind of learn and get to know and kind of be close with nature.
For the
Yeah.
audio listeners, guys, just go on Google and Google search Nairobi National Park, and you'll get to see some incredible photos. It's really pretty.
Yeah. And it's not just it's not like a zoo. Like you get a full safari experience. You could sleep in there for like a week. You just camp in there and watch the animals. Of course, they are lions, but sometimes they sneak out. One of the downsides of it, some lions sneak out actually in the past, but
Yeah,
but
that
we've learned to
seems
live
like a
with
big
them.
problem.
Yeah, we coexist with them. So it's amazing to have a national park within the city. You
Yeah,
can go
that's
and
awesome,
explore.
man.
And obviously, we're looking at some pictures of Nairobi, the city itself. And I mean, that's a massive city. It looks like there's a lot going on there. It looks
Yeah,
like.
there's
Oh, go
it
ahead.
looks like I'm telling you another thing, that there's a lot going on in down there, especially we
Oh,
have our
over
transport
4
system.
million people is the population of Nairobi, just the city itself.
Yeah, and also you see we have a vibrant and unique transport system. We have something called matatu. You can search it up. These are privately owned minibuses, and they have Wi-Fi. They have loud music. They have paintings of famous people from sports to politicians. Musicians. It's like a disco on wheels.
That's right.
It's
I
a
remember
culture.
hearing
It's not
about
just
this
a
somewhere.
transport
Yeah,
system. You should check it out. It's
there's a
called
lot of
Matatu,
pride with each
Nairobi
bus.
Matatu
If I
culture.
remember. Yeah.
It's part of the city. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That's so cool, man.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, for sure. We got some folks here in the chat. Juan Carlos brings up a great point. I love it when people refer to the Suns as my Phoenix Suns, just like Siro does. Those are the real Phoenix Suns fans. And Izzy, our boy from Paris, brings up perhaps a safety tip for us. If you see a lion, don't look him straight in the eyes. That's
You
probably
wouldn't want to get close enough.
Yeah. I don't look house cats straight in the eyes. That's but that's because house cats are rude in general. No, this is amazing. So, well, and obviously, Ciro, you must be a diehard Suns fan because, as you point out, you became a fan around 2014, 2015, which I referred to as part of the decade of despair when we had just atrocious teams going out there. So you picked one team that was near the bottom of the league for a while. Previously, we're kind of back in there again. We are one of the winningest sports franchises in any sport to never win a championship, but we are one of the most successful teams overall. NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and all these sports. So it's kind of fascinating. You certainly picked a top tier team, just a team that has not yet done it yet, but hopefully this year we can, with Jusuf Nurkic anchoring the middle, and that'll be great. And another thing about Kenya, because like I said, I had to do some research on your country, but it looks like so you guys recently had a presidential election a couple of years ago, 2022. I think you guys have a very strong functioning government system with competitive elections. Would that be a fair way to describe it? I know because I say some of your neighboring countries, they have elections, but it's somebody just says I won, and it's kind of that way. But you guys, I mean, it looks like the guy that won with just over 50% of the vote, and his the next closest competitor at 48%. So it looks like it was just very competitive and a strong democratic system. Would you characterize it that way? I know we don't get too deep into politics, but we're just kind of curious.
Yeah, for anyone out there wondering, Kenya is a stable country. We actually have free and fair elections, so they say. I'm not gonna get into politics, but if you look around the region, we are one of the stable countries in East Africa. The peace is there, but the implementations, man. Our president is a tourist. The guy is always flying out, man. If he's not flying, he's flying. Yeah.
If he's not lying, he's flying.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. A lot of broken promises, man. During campaign, they come and tell you, "Oh, I'll bring you this, I'll bring you school, water." They promise you heaven, but then they get into office and no accountability. There's a lot of corruption. I'm not gonna shy away from it. There's a lot of corruption in Kenya. You can't get anything without bribing someone or knowing someone. So it's part of our culture. But politicians, they promise you stuff and they don't deliver anything. So it's really a challenge.
We've all, I think, all Suns fans around the world have experienced the politician that says, "I'm going to do this for you," and we're all still waiting for those things to be done in many cases. Let's see here. You had mentioned too, real quick, Siro, how many tribes make up Kenya?
47.
47.
Yeah, 47 different tribes, and then we have 2 national languages, Swahili and English.
Okay. Okay. Can we ask you what tribe are you, Siro?
Yes. So Kisi. You can search it up. K-I-S.
K-I-S?
I.
K-I-S-I?
Yeah.
Okay. One moment. Let me pull that up. Oh, there we go.
The Kisi tribe.
Does this look right?
They've got some traditional, yeah. But
okay.
Those are like traditional attires with a mixture of Maasai, there's a mixture of Maasai in there. But that's us, that's our culture, yeah. That's it. We have traditional dancing music. You can check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you see, these 47 communities, they're divided into 3 major groups. We have Bantus. The Bantu is the major group, and then we have Kushites, the Nilotes and Kushites. So it's divided into those 3 subdivisions. But all in all, we blend together as one country, with the love for the country. It's amazing, but there's a lot of problems in here.
There sure is, and obviously the week or two that me and Siro have been talking, I've done a little bit of research into the situation over there. I just want to shed some light on something real quick. It's called the Big Dream Vision. It's a gentleman by the name of Ishmael Awonge, and they're actually attempting to build a basketball court at the Wima Orphanage in Mombasa, Kenya. So anyone who's looking to help shed some light on that, who would like to donate any money or anything, please head on over to bigdreamvision.com or check out Big Dream Vision on Facebook. And what Mr. Awonge is doing is some incredible work. He's heading over to Kenya in a couple of months' time. So if anyone's got some time and they'd like to help out, please head on over to Big Dream Vision on Facebook and check that out.
Well, this has been a fascinating look into the great country of Kenya and getting to know Siro a little bit, the super fan. Siro, we're going to need to get you to create like a second Twitter account, maybe like a Suns Kenya account, because we'd love to connect you with some of the other guests we've had. Met with the Suns super fans from Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, France, Spain. We've been to England. We've been to Ireland. We've been
Singapore.
to India. We've been to Philippines, Australia. And so we've got fans all over the world and helping to build that Suns fandom, not only in their own community, but then connect with the broader fan base. And you're right. When I've traveled to and I see American sports teams represented in other countries, it's usually a New York Yankees cap or an LA Lakers jersey or a Boston Celtics jersey. It's rare to see you say Phoenix Suns and they go who but they know Kevin Durant and then they're getting to know Devin Booker. So I think it's starting to spread and the NBA has really done a great job, I think, of building bridges through other communities. That's awesome to see. So thanks again, Siro, for coming on. And as we move to close up, we do have some exciting news to announce. We talked a little bit about this before, but Kevin's been hard at work signing a new shoe deal. Is this right, Kevin? And Kevin, salute. You want to talk to us about your teaming up with K-Swiss?
I wanted Josh, are you there? If you're there, drop the new.
These are the new.
There you go.
The new K-Sluts.
There we go. Oh, there we go.
So these will be popping off in the Philippines, hopefully sooner rather than later. And who knows, maybe you can team up with Book and drop off your own K-Sluts in some other communities, Kev. That is amazing. That's a long-running joke, but I'm glad we finally got to show it. And we can keep that around. Everyone's got a shoe deal. But to fill Siro in here real quick, people had a hard time saying Kevin Salute for whatever reason, and people just refer to him as K Slut, Kevin Slut. So which is not a nice name for a woman of the evening, but
it's an easier
name. Nice name for Kevin either.
Exactly. Yeah. But Kevin was like, I'm not gonna put my last name down anymore when I write articles. But we're very excited. Those are a great looking shoe, Kevin. I tell you what, I want them more than a Book one. I'll say that.
And I'm gonna release them in like a million of colorways.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Desert gray, sun orange, burnt orange, something like that. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, let's move to close up. We've had a great show, and we're going to turn over to Siro first. And Siro, if I could, you are fluent in Swahili as well?
Yes, of course.
Could you say something to kind of wrap us up, to say goodbye to the Planeteers? We've got over 435 fans watching you right now. Say something to them in Swahili, and then tell us in English what it says, and as you say goodbye.
I would like to say asante sana Phoenix Suns kwa ukarimu, kwa usaidizi wenyu. Nashukuru sana. Asanteni, mmeweza kunisaidia na ina maana kubwa sana kwangu. Ningependa kuwashukuru na Mwenyezi Mungu azidi kuwajazilia ili muweze kuendelea vivyo hivyo. Kisha naomba tuweze kushinda championship inayokuja. Phoenix Suns hapa Kenya na wakaribisha wakati wowote. Asanteni, nashukuru. So I basically said that I really appreciate the Phoenix Suns community, and you're welcome in Kenya anytime. Kenya is a beautiful country. It's a peaceful country, amazing, full of culture and good vibes. And we are looking to grow the Phoenix Suns fan base in Kenya. So, asanteni, which means thank you. Asante.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Siro. Where can people find you? What is your Twitter account so they can connect with you?
My Twitter account is @KenyanSunsFan. That's my Twitter account.
Oh, so yeah, you've already got the Suns
Yeah.
Kenya
Already
account set up.
represented.
That's right. Yeah.
My Twitter is my everything. That's my link up to the outside world. But I also have email. I have email, which I'm gonna link. It's Siro Hussein2@gmail.com. And then, am I also allowed to say one more thing, please?
Of course you are, mate.
Okay, so you guys have been really amazing, and I have big dreams. I've actually been reaching out to colleges across the US, and I have big dreams to study there. I believe it's possible. If I have worn the American clothes, I truly believe that nothing is big enough that it can't be achieved. I always like to dream big, and I would like to pursue education in the US. If anyone can link me up with any opportunity, just know that I'm hardworking, I'm dedicated, I don't drink, I'm disciplined, and I'll give it my all. So I hopefully want to get education and come back here, help the community through sports, something like that, because over here I live in a slum and the situation is not really good with you getting involved with the wrong crowd. So I'd really like to be a beacon of hope to them. I'd really like to succeed out there and come back here and have a positive impact in my community. So if anyone out there can help me realize my dream, I have a passport and I'm ready for any opportunity. Just link me up. I really appreciate, and asante sana, Phoenix Suns.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and we'll continue to help get your story out there as much as possible because you've got the right heart. You're an extremely well-educated young man, and very, very respectful. So yeah, we'll definitely be sharing this story around as much as possible, mate. And you just stay positive, and we'll see what can happen, eh?
Absolutely. We don't know all the Planeteers, but maybe somebody's involved with some of the universities, in the U.S. or elsewhere, and would love to take you on. I know a lot of universities have international student programs, and they have those set up pretty well. Well, all right. Thanks again, Siro, for hopping on. Let's move to our other guys to sign off as well. Kev, where can people find you, and when's the K Sluts hitting the streets?
So first off, you guys can find me over at I'm Kevin PS, and you can also find my writing in Bright Side of the Sun. Check out our latest series, the player previews for this upcoming season. Really great insights from our writers, and the case lots are about to drop probably this December. I have some tweaking to do. I have to talk to the manufacturer or the brand because I do not like that that thing in the middle. That one. No, the one in the middle.
The K-Swiss logo.
The K-Swiss. Well, it's a partnership deal.
No. The one in the sole.
Oh, the sole.
The little window looking thing.
Yeah, the little window.
The shock spring. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to straighten that out first before releasing it to the public, and it's gonna go on sale first, of course, here in the Philippines, and then in Australia, and then I'd probably go Iowa because I believe I have markets there, and then I'd send some to Hizzy in Paris, probably for free because I don't have market there.
You're gonna pull a Devin Booker and just start handing them out in the streets.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And then that's who the heck are you? And by the way, I just want to mention this next week. Please tune in. We have a very special guest.
Oh, that's right. I'll ask you real quick too, Kev. What's your closest thing to a Parisian accent that you would use when you're handing those shoes off?
Oh my goodness! Don't. I'm just gonna say, hey, here's some sluts for you.
Get sluts.
And Izzy is dying right now, I'm sure. And with that attempt of a French accent. All right. Well, Hamo, where can the folks find you and check out your writings?
been pretty slack on the right-hand side of things lately, but it is over a bright side of the sun. Like Kev said, there's some incredible player previews coming up before the start of this preseason. But yeah, you can find me at Sir Hamo on Twitter. Thank you everyone for being involved in the chat. Siro, thank you so much for coming on, brother. It's been really nice hearing your story, mate. And you're part of the wider Phoenix Suns community now. So I feel there's going to be a lot of people reaching out to you to have a chat, mate. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and yeah, can't wait till next week's special episode.
All right. Well, I'll just say, you can follow me at Fallen Founder as well. And let's see. Before I say to Al McCoy to take us home, I'll just ask one more thing to Siro. Siro, how in Swahili can we say goodbye?
Kwaheri.
Kwaheri?
Yes, simple.
All right.
Kwaheri.
Kwaheri, everyone.
Kuna Matata.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay with us as the Suns get set to shine here on their home court.
Here's Perry. Cigar Hurd. Here's the jump shot. Good! It's good!
Al McCoy with you courtside. Comes up a three.
Shazam! He ties it. Hey, D.A. Al and Tim up here.
Happy birthday!
Right. Yeah.
I know it's the ball, but happy birthday, baby!
Here's Cameron Payne out on top. Durant, three-pointer straight away.
Shazam! I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in this arena this afternoon, to all of those that are watching and listening on radio and TV. Thank you for allowing me to tell the story of the Suns for 51 great years. That pretty much wraps things up here. And for one last time, this is Al McCoy saying thanks for being there. Thanks for being with us tonight. And from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, we'll just say so long for now.